Can you hear me?
Right now, yes.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
¿Estás sola?
Can you hear me?
It's very interesting your starting your attitude. You know. Come on.
Thank you, Pushodan! Thank you, Pushodan! Blow! Yeah! Sing around the ring, live in love and union, dance and sing around the ring, live in sweet communion. Sing with life, live with life, sing with life and power. Sing with life, live with life, sing with life and power. Come dance and sing around the ring, live in love and union, dance and sing around the ring, live in sweet communion. Sing with life, live with life, sing with life and power. Sing with life, live with life, sing with life and power. Come dance and sing around the ring, live in love and union. around the ring, live in sweet communion. Sing with life, live with life, sing with life and power. Sing with life, live with life, sing with life and power. Come dance and sing. I wanna get ready with somebody. Lo que te tengo un poco más. Aprovecho y me cuelo, enredándote en mi pelo, insistiendo en que me vuelvas a buscar.
Can you introduce yourself, please?
My name is Sandokan. I'm Fabio Tolledi, I'm the artistic director of Straveri Teatro and also the artistic director of the project Genius Loci. Genius Loci is a program in the framework of the Creative Europe activities, and the goal of the project is to work inside the activities of the performing arts in connection with the cultural heritage and places in the Mediterranean area, and particularly with attention with actions in Greece, Romania, Spain and Italy.
Yo soy Esther Berzal y soy estudiante del Instituto Universitario de Danza Alicia Alonso por el itinerario de danza-teatro. En Genius Loci he aprendido que muchas veces vas con una predisposición hacia las cosas, en la vida en general, y luego se convierten en otra cosa totalmente diferente, que hay que aceptar todo tal cual nos viene y estar preparados para recoger toda la información que nos llega de alrededor. He aprendido a hacer teatro desde otro lugar y me he planteado como un montón de cosas sobre mí misma y sobre las
The performers themselves.
Resistance in love. Genius Loci. Nos vemos en España.
Hello, I would like to thank you everyone for coming. My name is Dodanis Garcia. I'm a member of ITI Spanish Center, and today I am going to moderate this meeting. My name is Dodanis Garcia. As you all know, in this session we will talk about the multidisciplinary experience of staging the Nutcracker in the upside-down world. The topic of this session also includes the experience of the creators and young practitioners in classical, Spanish, and contemporary plays from the classical ballet repertoire. Now I would like to invite Fabio Toledi, project leader and director of the Astragali Theater, and also president of the Italian Center for ITI. Please, Fabio. And also president of the Italian Center.
Welcome to everybody. There is a return of voice of someone, perhaps. Okay. And also, I am double image of myself. Okay. It's a normal for my crisis of identity. Also, it's a normal also for the attitude in performing arts to have a multiple identities in our life. Also, I'm very happy also. Now I start to speak more or less seriously. It's a big honor for me to start this meeting, and also we know very well how it's very difficult this period, and how all the performing arts community is working hardly to overcome this situation. And I'm sure in this moment it's very important to strengthen the international activities. And also this project was developed in a different way from the beginning. And also this project, I'm very sorry to change our program, because the residencies is a very important part of our activities generally. And I have felt during the residencies in Zakynthos that we were starting to have a very extremely interesting activities to work together to develop something, but also we have to consider this moment like a starting point one more time. Generally in theater, after one performance, the day after is also we restart from the beginning every time. And also for this, we are very well trained for this. And also the cooperation with the Spanish Center of ITI, with the Instituto de Danza Alicia Alonso, it's a very important partner for our activities. It's not the first project, and I'm sure that will not be the last one. And we have to strengthen these activities. And the goal of the project, Genius Loci, is something connected with the spirit of the places. The Latin name that called about recall the spirit of places, because there is a particular energy in the places, and also the connection with the cultural heritage is something living. Also, when I was hosted in the conference about the investigaciones dell'arte escénica, I have started to speak about the dimension of living archive. It's something very important. Performing arts now is facing a new dimension, but also I'm sure that the connection, the relationship, the presences of body and the artistical attitude is as a new frontier that we have developed with the same energy, with the stronger energy one more time. And also I want to thank everybody that has worked for this project, also in this framework so difficult, so strange. And non vedo l'ora di incontrarvi. I am very tired to speak with my computer, and also to have a strange feedback by you, but also I need to sing, to dance, for everyone is easy, except labor. No, I'm joking because usually I have to provoke a labor reaction. So in this way, I can test that you are listening to me really, because sometimes when I speak with all the conference, the doubt is no one is listening because we have no feedback, real feedback. Now
There's no way to not listening to, sir.
and also, okay, welcome and
no way
also
to
have
not
a good
listening to,
work
sir.
for this day. And also, I'm sure that we will restart to meet each other, to sing with each other, and also to dance together, to act together. It's very important for us. Also, I think that you have seen the interview with Helen Mirren that me and Roberta shoot during the World Theatre Day. There are many elements very important in this interview, and also we can find all over the world the same need to reopen the theater and to restart to act, to stay together with the audience in presence and not with these so important but also hard instrument tools that we have, this device. I have device of the device. And okay, have a good work today. Thank you very much. I have device of the device. And okay, have a good work today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Fabio. It's a pleasure. Well, now, Roberta Cuarta is actress and teacher. She is the manager of international project like this and is here to also present this activity. Go on, Roberta.
Hello, good morning. Thank you very much. I'm very pleased and honored to be here with you and to see the start of the implementation of this third international residence of the project Genius Loci. I'm very grateful to the partner of the project, the Institute of Dance Alicia Alonso of University of Madrid, for all the big efforts made for this residence to be possible. We are all very aware of the very difficult situation that the arts sector is living under the pandemic times. So we all know how big our efforts are to achieve such results as this artistic residence that we are starting. I would like to thank the Institute of Dance also on behalf of all the partners of Genius Loci, and to thank also the people that are following the activities of this third residence. So a great thank from the Department of History, Society and Human Studies of University of Salento, the State Theatre of Constanza, Romania, the International Theatre Institute, Directorate General, France, the Teatro Zakynthos of Greece. So 5 countries are gathered around this project that started more than 1 year ago. First in presence, with the implementation, as Fabio Toledi was saying, of an international artistic residence in Greece, to which Spanish, Greek and Romanian artists took part, and it was an extraordinary experience. Then the activities continued online because of the devastating impact of the COVID. And we tried to recover all our energies with the partners to implement the activities in these new conditions. So the second artistic residence was held in February, coordinated by the State Theatre of Constanza. And now we are very, very glad to implement this third international artistic residence. I would just like to say a few words about the importance of the topics that the project Genius Loci is trying to foster in these complicated times. To raise awareness, first of all, on the fact that performing arts are an essential part of our cultural heritage and thus of our lives. Art is a primary need, and we should be really aware of it, especially in these times. A society without art is dead. because artistic expression is in every expression of life, because art creates relationships, it nourishes the souls of the communities. I am furthermore happy because this residence will give a lot of space to young creators, dancers and students, to which the cultural heritage must be transmitted, and they are the future of arts. So I really wish you all a good and inspiring residence, as I'm sure it will be. Thank you so much. I wish you all a good and inspiring residence.
Thank you, Roberta.
It will be. Thank you so much.
To welcome us to the session of this artistic residence, I introduce you to Alberto Garcia, President of the Spanish Center for ITI and Director of the Instituto Universitario de Danza Alicia Alonso.
Buenos días a todos. En primer lugar, bienvenidos a la residencia española de Genius Loci. Creo que lo primero que quiero expresarle es mi agradecimiento a Fabio Toledi y a Roberta Cuarta. Creo que la labor de Fabio como líder del proyecto y de Roberta en toda la organización y coordinación ha sido extraordinaria. De hecho, no era así como habíamos concebido este proyecto.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. First of all, I would like to say and congratulate Fabio Toledi, Roberta Cuarta, and the team of Teatro Astagali for the good job they have been doing in the organization of this project.
Creo que esta situación excepcional en la que nos encontramos el mundo entero requería también soluciones excepcionales, y encontrar esa solución excepcional también suponía reinventar el proyecto, transformarlo en algo que no era exactamente lo que se había concebido.
So, of course, in these exceptional situations, we have to invert all the work done and convert it and transform it into something that was not predicted before.
Creo que es una experiencia maravillosa la que hemos vivido, porque hemos aprendido nuevas formas de hacer teatro y de hacer danza a pesar de las dificultades que planteaba la pandemia.
So this has been a very good experience that we have done, because we have learned how to do dance and theater in another way due to the circumstances.
Esta experiencia de cooperación yo pienso que ha sido muy importante, porque las circunstancias nos han unido mucho más que antes. No es la primera vez que trabajamos con Astragali Teatro. Este ya es, creo, nuestro tercer proyecto, y creo que hay algo que es fundamental, que es la labor que se ha realizado también en defensa del patrimonio cultural y en la difusión del patrimonio cultural.
So this experience of cooperation that we have implemented has been very good for all partners, because we had to create new conditions and follow new cooperations. We already cooperated with Astragali Teatro. This is the third project that we do together, and mainly in all is the defense of the heritage of performing arts.
Creo que es una experiencia esta que nos enriquece a todos. Espero que lo que vais a ver a continuación resulte de vuestro interés, y lo que sí les puedo asegurar es que tanto nuestros estudiantes como nuestros profesores han aprendido muchísimo. Entre otras cosas, han aprendido a reinventarse, y a trabajar de una forma diferente. Muchas gracias a Fabio, a Roberta y a todos los partners que nos han acompañado y que han formado parte de este equipo, porque todos somos uno. Muchas gracias.
Well, I think that this experience has enriched us all in a very good way. Specifically, also, I would like to thank our students and our professors that they have to reinvent very thing, and they have learned very much with this project.
Thank you very much, Alberto, and thank you, Luis Manuel Llerena. The translator of Alberto Garcia was Luis Manuel Llerena Diaz, Vice President of the Spanish Center for ITI and Academic Secretary of the Instituto Universitario de Danza Alicia Alonso. Luis also want to welcome us to this session and comment about the work done.
Okay, well, first of all, I would like to thank, like my previous commenters, all what the work has been done with this in this project. All the partners we had started very well. The first, as you know, residence was in Greece, with the participation of our professors and students. It was very good. And in the moment where we had to start the residence in Spain, it was the time when the COVID-19 spread out all over the world, and we had to suspend all the traveling throughout the world. Then we had to wait about 1 year, deciding if we can continue. We had the residents. I would like to know that during 3 times we made the reservation of the residence at the hotel for the residents in Spain. We had to quit it, and at the end we had to invent other things. In this case, it's very good that we did not quit the project. We had to turn it upside down, and then in this case we had to use the new technologies to improve and implement the new residents that were done in Romania and now in this time in Spain. As you probably know, we will have 4 sessions, and in these 4 sessions it will be this today, the 7th tomorrow at 11 o'clock, also at 11 o'clock, and later Saturday 10 and Sunday 11 at 18 o'clock in the afternoon. This is very important because this is a residence in which we are going to express our experience in the time of the COVID-19 creation. So it could be a residence to, let's say, contribute to share our experiences to the rest of our partners, and to see how the things, good or bad things we could have done. The first 2 days, today and tomorrow, we will have the Nutcracker experience during a very important part that we included. We changed completely the work of the Nutcracker, and we incorporated inside the 4 studies that we have here: Spanish dance, contemporary dance, circus arts, theater, and of course classical dance. And of that we will receive the experience that the professors had in the first part. This will be today and tomorrow. The Saturday we will have the experience, and we share with you a documentary of the experience we had in a natural place, a very important place, that it's a natural heritage of Spain. It's about 1 hour from Madrid, and it was created in a restaurant, a performance, a surprise performance for the people who were dining in that moment, and it's very important for you. And at the end, and for us it's the most important, the students will speak about their creations during this COVID 19 pandemic world. So I hope this will contribute to all the partners and to all those who are listening, and this will contribute to put a little bit more experience to the rest of the people how we have done this work in Spain. Thank you all, and thanks especially for the team of Astragali Teatro, who is the principal partner, especially Fabio, Roberta. I would not, Ivano also, that is the one who is the manager and the economic manager of all this stuff, but of course all the rest of the partners, Romanian and the Greek partners that I hope will help this to contribute to their understanding of the new form of treating the performing arts, or a new way, let's say it like this. Thank you all, and I hope you will enjoy all the 4 participations of these residents. Thank you very much. Thank you all, and I hope you will enjoy all the 4 participations.
It's a pleasure, Lewis.
Thank you very much.
And now, Oscar Torrado is director of the Classical Dance Department of the Instituto Universitario de Danza Alicia Alonso, and he is also the artistic director of the Ballet de Cámara de Madrid. Oscar is here to present a communication about this work. Hello, Oscar.
Hello, good morning to all. It's a great honor to participate in this meeting and in this wonderful project. My work in this Nutcracker as artistic director has been to coordinate all the departments, like Lewis says, ballet, Spanish dance, contemporary dance, circus, and physical theater. At the request of our general director, Alberto Garcia, who had the idea to combine all the departments and making an integral show. Due to the limited opportunities to have a theater in these times of pandemic, since many of them have closed or the programming has been drastically reduced. It was an opportunity for many of our students to feel stimulated by participating in such an important show. It was a motivation for all of them to feel involved in such an innovative and hopeful project. We did several meetings with all the chief of departments to shape and organize the work seasons. It was clear to me that with the little time we had to do a new show, the most appropriate thing was to integrate these new disciplines into the history of the classical ballet Nutcracker, based on the history of the Ernst Theodor Amadeus Hoffmann, choreographed by Lev Ivanov, from which our institute has the whole version, and we have been staging for several years. And in this way, make the most of the mise-en-scène and choreographically change all the fragments that are feasible for the incorporation of other disciplines different to the ballet. We did so, and the last week of October, we got to work and changed to show by approximately 60%. We only had a month and a half. With the complexity of our schedules and the Spanish holidays. You know, we have a lot of holidays here in Spain. New musics were selecting, in some cases, new choreographies were made, and each chief of department chose his team to create the corresponding parts. Once this phase was finished, I checked everything assembled and evaluate how to integrate into the general mise-en-scène. I have to point out that the work of all the teachers was magnificent, since they understood from the first moment the concept we were looking for without changing the essence of the history. Mobilizing 180 people was the hardest part, since I had to coordinate them in the best possible way without seeing interruption or strains or unrelated addition. Definitely give it coherence. In the first act, with 60 people, the battle between soldiers, Spanish dance students, mice from the physical theater and circus, Clara, Nutcracker, and Drosselmeyer from classical ballet, the scene of the snowflakes contemporary dance, mixed with the classical ballet of the note with a student of ballet, of which we will see a fragment. They were the most complex parts because the whole scenes in Clarita's house did not have to change anything. It must be taken into account that circus and theater students do not have a mastery of ballet technique. Of course, they know it because our institution considers ballet class as a base for their complete training, and they receive it regularly. In these unions, making steps that are feasible for the majority and at the same time effective for the scenes in question were another challenge to consider. It's important to highlight the success of taking advantage of an exciting dramaturgy, because if it had not been so, we wouldn't have to get the objective in such a short time. In addition, the story of Nutcracker made it possible to integrate all the new elements, giving a form and novel reading for without changing the scenes of the history. It should be noted that it has been more difficult than usual to do the rehearsals because we have had to complete with the COVID security protocols. In addition to dancing with the mask, which is huge, difficult, and reduce physical resistance considerably. Never in history we had to go through a situation like this. If dance in general is difficult, with the wear and tear it requires, imagine with the mask. The best of all, regardless of the result, which I think was quite good, was the understanding, availability, enthusiasm on the part of all the students and teachers, which created a very good working atmosphere that made the intense hours of our rehearsal much easier, consequently a good show. For tomorrow, I will continue with the second act, now a fragment of Pas de of the Snow and its classic form. Thank you very much. Tomorrow, I will continue with the second act, now a fragment of Pas de of the Snow and its classic form. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Oscar. Now we are going to reproduce an example of the artistic work that Oscar Torra was playing, the Pas de of the Snow, a very result of the Genius Loci project. Well, after that, Jose Manuel Buzón have a communication for us. Jose Manuel Buzón is director of the Spanish dance department of the Instituto Universitario de Danza Alicia Alonso, and is the artistic director of the and is a director of choreography from that project.
Thank you, Manuel. Good morning for everyone. I'm José Manuel Buzón, head of the Spanish Dance Department of the Instituto de Danza Alicia Alonso. I'm going to talk, first, thank you for inviting me, and it's a great honor to stay here in this event. I'm going to talk about the creative process of the soldiers in the Nutcracker ballet. Well, working in an integrated choreography experience with the Nutcracker production has been both a joy and a very rewarding challenge on top of difficulties already imposed by the pandemic we are living on. Foremost, I may clarify that flamenco is one of the four branches that form what we define as Spanish dance, with the other three being escuela bolera, danza tradicional o folclore, and danza estilizada. Following the aim of this program in the combination of art and heritage, I would like to point out the fact that since a little more than a decade ago, flamenco has been acknowledged by UNESCO as world's intangible heritage. However, beyond being a form of expression for religious ceremonies, ritual, and festivities, it has also been widely used in a theatrical performances for over more than a century. Therefore, in the making of the soldiers' dance in the Nutcracker production, I opted for flamenco for this as the base form of the choreography. This section had to be completely reconstructed, and I wanted to bring it a new aesthetic. I chose to eliminate the music in this area to further highlight the percussion performed by the dancer. It begins with a new beat performed backstage to announce the coming of the soldiers. That such a percussion resembles the sound of a battalion marching towards the battle. Right after this, they enter the stage and perform sound footwork, turns and the set, and precise and sharp movement derived from military style. It may be interesting to point out that the performers are the ones generating the rhythm by their movements and silence. However, the beat of this rhythm comes from the binary compass from a particular flamenco style called seguirilla that evokes the mourn for death through a cultural figure called plañideras. Plañideras, which were women hired to cry and lament and wake and funerals. Hence, driven by this dramatic potential, I explicitly choose such rhythm to build a choreography in a solemn, sober, and a poised approach. I should also mention that by choreographing upon a military style, we had an easy way to control the social distance imposed by the restriction of the current pandemic. Nevertheless, I had to carefully design the special movement because of the constraint of the scene itself, which limited the available space to only half the stage, so that it could be shared with another group of performers that were already there, whose character was the very enemy my soldiers would battle later with, along with the ballet's protagonists and principals. In conclusion, I must say the experience for working in such a daring multidisciplinary production like this Nutcracker has been quite positive and rewarding, and I feel very grateful for collaborating and sharing its process throughout this cultural and artistic session. Thank you and enjoy.
Thank you, Jose Manuel. Now we are going to listen to an audio clip of Jorge Gallego, Head of Circus Arts and Acrobatic Dance Department of Instituto Universitario de Danza Alicia Alonso.
My name is Jorge Gallego, coordinator of the Department of Acrobatic and Circus Dances and also of the staging activities in that area. I am briefly going to comment about the process of creation and inclusion of the circus language in the assembly of the production of the Nutcracker. The first decision is made on paper. From the origin of the idea, we set out looking for a multidisciplinary Nutcracker where the circus will not only have an aesthetic role, but also a dramaturgical value. For that reason, we think that one of the characters that could connect with both realities was the King of Mice. We thought that, from a symbolic point of view, the King of Mice is the first real threat to Clarita, and in some way, this character serves as an excuse to show the value of the personality of the Nutcracker. In the battle, the Nutcracker leads the soldiers, and the King of the Mice leads the army of the rats. We speak in any case of a power relations, and we believe it was convenient to use the circus, that is, the exhibition of the heroic body, to encode that power, that relationship of status through acrobatic language. At the first place, the power of the king towards his mice, and secondly, the power of the king towards his enemies. The first thing we did was to review with his vertical teacher, Eduardo Lucas, the acrobatic sequences that Chandre, who is the interpreter who embodies the king of mice, had in his repertoire. We ordered the sequences, taking into account two aspects. On the one hand, a construction from a purely circus perspective. This means that we will have to take into account that the tricks were logical, that they were not repetitive, that they were related to the crescendo from the point of view of the technical complexity, that different shots were combined, and that they worked in favor of the intrigue of the viewer of waiting to see something even more difficult. On the other hand, from a purely artistic perspective, for example, we provide to the pulses, which are the supports where Chandra performs his act, with a symbolic value, turning it into a kind of throne from which to exercise the power of a king. This totally changed the way to relate the apparatus with the interpreter. In the same way, we combine his artistic work with the different height, giving them a different acting value. Still, the real complexity of the proposal came when we joined the work of the other departments. The Army of Mice, created by the theater department under the artistic direction of Sara Ballesteros, worked with a sequence of movements different from ours. We then seek to add movements in common to our circus sequence to the sequence of the rest of the mice in order to unify both proposals in a single composition. In the same way, we highlight the power relations through the intentionality of the movement. Thus, we combined movements where the movements of the group of mice is pushed by the movement of the king, with others where is the king of the mice that unifies his movement of the group, the choral movement. We also took advantage of the spatial work of highlight the leadership positions, seeking compositions around that central figure of the king, or enhancing the status of the king throughout movements, gestures, and the admiration of the group caused by the acrobatic execution. In this way, with all these components, we have tried to ensure that the circus, in addition to surprising the spectator with viewing the tricks, serves as a dramaturgical tool, that is, the circus as a way of writing in motion to transfer data to the viewer, aesthetically empowered around the composition of the character, around the nature of their relationships, and around the intentionality of their actions. This experience has allowed us to understand the circus as a language with multiple options and to value the need to continue researching around these concepts. To understand the circus as a language with multiple options and to value the need to continue researching around these concepts.
Sara Ballesteros is professor of the theater department of Instituto Universitario de Danza Alicia Alonso and is here to communicate her experience with this work. Instituto Universitario de Danza Alicia Alonso is here to communicate
Thank you.
her experience
Hi, everyone.
with
It's a
this
pleasure
work.
to be here. Thank you for attending this session. I'm going to talk about the creative process for the my scenes in the Nutcracker. As theater maker, we had many doubts about how we could bring together theater and ballet for this performance at the Nutcracker. Staging is similar for both ballet and theater, but the approach is quite different. And we had some things really clear in our heads. So firstly, we are actors, not dancers. And secondly, we wanted to create something that had a bit of all of us. And we wanted to go through an ensemble creative process from devising through to performance. At initial stages, it wasn't easy to make the group believe in our strengths as theater maker performing in a ballet. And all the efforts went to build the working environment where all the students could feel confident to speak up freely, share ideas and feedback on the daily work and the process itself. And we used the viewpoints by Marie Overly and Anne Bogart, especially space and time viewpoints. And that allow us to connect with the space, the environment, the time, with the others and ourselves very easily. And after that, the students had the connection as a creative whole. And then we move on to working the animalization of the physical through improvisation, imagination, and visualization. And they embody different animals with their own characteristics. They worked the breathing, the flow, the gesture, behaviors, sounds, ways of relating to each other and to the environment. And their mission was to ultimately become a mouse, but through a natural and organic process, following the impulse and visualization through the movement of the body. And they found themselves engaging with the environment and with the group inside and outside the classroom, naturally and instinctively. Every student contributed to the partitive of movement, and we choose the most suitable ones for what we were telling, and we incorporated them to it. Uh, at a very instance in the creative process, we played with four classical elements: water, air, air, and fire, to give texture, temperature, rhythm, and color to the movement. And we took advantage of our progress at the technique workshop, where we were using Michael technique, and we took into account the elements and the visualization of this in the execution of the movement, also the power to hold and texture of materials. And then we move on to more concrete and everyday material like dough of bread, a rope, the tension of an elastic band. And once we had more or less all the pieces uh, pointing to the direction we were moving, then we proceed to put them together and make an asymmetrical assembly of the final composition. And what we mean by asymmetrical is that the ensemble doesn't act as a sole entity, but as an heterogeneous group made of individuals, each one acting independently, but which is perceived as a crowd because they are after the same goal, goal, sorry. Even if at the beginning the movement of the group are cautious and prudent, and the mice look innocent with a slow, fast, light, or an simple movement. Later, all the members regroup into a sort of army of mice, led by the king mouse. At this point, we counted with the collaboration of one of the members for the Department of Circus and Acrobatic Dances, And this contribution added some plasticity. This king mouse is presented as superior, powerful character. The king mouse appears when the nightmare of Clara starts, and it's midnight, and battle is about to start. And we choose Mitternacht by E. Nomine to illustrate our battle. Using this disruptive music helped very much to reinforce the idea of a nightmare at midnight, midnight, Mitternacht, as well as the lyric theme in German reinforce the subtext of fire army. And from this point, all the performance circles around the king mouse. The movement became fast, energetic, and intense. And it's totally the opposite to Tchaikovsky's piece of work, to which we return later to remind ourselves that we are in a classroom, and we will be defeated in battle, and that our king mouse is dead. Thank you very much for everyone to be part of it.
Thanks for sharing the experience, Sarah. This is time to enjoy a clip of Mouse, Soldiers and Butter of the ballet Nutcracker with the performance of prayer participants, a member of the Ballet de Cámara de Madrid, of the Instituto Universitario de Danza Alicia Alonso, the company of this institute. Of this institute.
der Toten klagen, tief im Nacken das Grauen sitzt. Wenn die Uhr beginnt zu schlagen, kalte, dichte Nebelschwaden berühren dich sacht. Mitternacht. dir Angst die Kehle zu. Hörst du dein Herz und die Glocken schlagen? Ist es Nacht, Mitternacht?
Entramos.
Gloria Garcia Rambarri is teacher and head of the Contemporary Dance Department of the Instituto Universitario de Danza Lindsay Alonso. She is going to present the Snowflake Balls, performance by the Genius Loci project participants and members of the Ballet de Cámara de Madrid. Snowflake Balls, performance by the Genius Loci project participants and members of the
Hello to everyone. I am very happy to see our partners and coordinators from Italy that have done a wonderful job, Fabio and Roberta and other partners of the project. And very happy also to share with Alberto, Luis, and my colleagues from the Instituto Alicia Alonso, and bravo for their work also. I am going to talk about a little bit the snowflakes in this Nutcracker. The creation and staging of the snowflakes for this special Nutcracker was a great responsibility for me, given that it is a ballet that has been in the dance repertoires for centuries now, and also given that our own Nutcracker, the traditional one, has had before very good versions of every scene of the ballet. But the most significant concern, I think, was that we had a responsibility also in the educational order. We needed to plant a seed of joy, hope, and artistic leap for those students from all the departments and teachers also, because we have been having a very bad time as billions of people in the world because of the pandemic. Some issues were in my mind from the beginning as very important issues, such as the score, the musical score, the costumes, a particular style of dancing, as well as other concerns that developed along the journey of the choreographic process. For the score, there was a very intense studying of it from my part and also from part of the students. The score of the snowflakes, since I was little, has had an impression of respect because of the power and beauty of it. And ironically, a snowflake is a natural phenomenon with such a beauty for its crystal shapes that flow so ingravitly in their fall, but they actually reach the earth at some point and they accumulate, creating in this aerial falling sometimes amounts of the whitest landscape we can see, and they configure themselves in a very strong, compact force of nature. So it is present, it is evident the most sublime shape of nature, light and feather-like in their falling, which turns into a very strong and immense, bigger, curvy shapes. The atmosphere, the environment are beautiful but harsh at the same time. They belong to the winter time, a time perfect for the postcards, but also it can harbor the lack of enough light to nurture ourselves, and the difficulties of the search for warmth, for security, waiting for the spring to rebirth the life in all living creatures. I think that the snowflakes precede foreshadows the beautiful journey in the story that Clara will take along with her savior after the scene of the nightmare. Sorry. The snowflakes were perfect for contemporary dance because in their physical nature, they are crystals with different prisms, simple, stellar, columns, needle lights, different dendrites, rosettes, irregular. In summary, the perfection of the raw, of the nature of the shapes, the perfection of the harmonious and of the unharmonious and imperfect as well. And we wanted to deal bodily with all of those references. Bodily more than ever because most of their faces were covered with a mask, but instead of that being an obstacle, it became part of our training for bodily expression. We have had this concept before in dance from masters, for example, from the German expressionists such as Mary Wigman, also from expressionist artists, painters, and others who treated the face as a mask to stress out some expression facts which were beyond the correction of the sketch or the correction of the drawing. So these are some thoughts about the background of the creation process of our snowflakes that are some kind of rebel snowflakes. For the costumes, we had to manage to use costumes which were already in our ballets and which not interfere with the general aesthetics of the Nutcracker. In this case, we opted for the Giselle's Corps de Ballet costumes, which were very similar in the romantic aspects of the long white tutu to the classical snowflakes of the Nutcracker. It is always an honor to wear for contemporary dance to wear the classical costumes in a different manner. I think this keeps different traditions of dance alive, and we share traditions in that way. The students were also very happy to wear these costumes that they felt from the way I could perceive the reactions. They felt happy and proud, something like that. Then I thought that the hair must have like an avant-garde reminder, something that comes from one of the richest scope of modernism in dance. In this case, I refer to the Ballet Suédois, the Swedish ballet, the company directed by Rolf de Marais from 1920 to 1925. They integrated, for example, cinema in their performances, for example. So the reference of the hair looks like a cone in their silver painted hairs, like a futurist slight touch in their image, inspired in some design features of work of the Swedish ballet, maybe like the backdrop of Relâche of Francis Picabia, in the sense of the silver metal look in their heads, or the hair look of Jean Borland's Siamesic dance. We also in Snowflakes had to interact with the two dancers that perform the pas de of snow. They have some undress during the snowflake scene, so it was very important to coordinate the contemporary version of the choreography with the interactions of the classical dancers, trying to maintain a coherence of these interactions, although the different styles of movement, and taking into account especially the spatial design. In the consideration of the whole process of creation, I cherish the once in a lifetime that is to work creating every single day. of the choreographing process and staging process. I cherish the shared joy with the students and with my colleagues. I cherish the feeling that the few persons that were able to be as physical audience during the recording of the performance, which was going to be on stream later. The feeling that we were very lucky, and the feeling that we wanted to feel the whole theater, although we were few people, with our energy as if it was full of people, for the students would feel the space inhabited by the magic of theater that is performance. Thank you. Feel the space inhabited by the magic of theater that is performance. Thank you.
Next, we present the Valse of Snowflake, performance by the participants of the project and members of the Ballet de Cámara de Madrid. The Valse of Snowflake, performance by the participants of the project and members of the Ballet de Cámara de Madrid. The Valse of Snowflake, performance by the participants of the project and members of the Ballet de Cámara de Madrid. Well, maybe we have some technical issue with the streaming in YouTube. Well, maybe we have some. Quería preguntarle a Leo si vamos a transmitir de nuevo.
Voy a probar de nuevo.
Quería preguntarle a Leo si vamos a transmitir de nuevo.
Voy a probar de nuevo.
Quería preguntarle a Leo si vamos a transmitir de nuevo.
Voy a probar de nuevo. Volvemos. Volvemos. Estamos contigo, Dodi.
Okay.
Estamos contigo, Dodi.
Well, sorry for the technical problems that we have in the YouTube streaming. Now we have to present another we want to present the snowflake balls from Ballet de Cámara de Madrid and the participant of the project Genius Loci. From Ballet de Cámara de Madrid and the participant of the project Genius Loci. From Ballet de Cámara de Madrid and the participant of the project. Unfortunately, we can't resolve the technical problem with the transmission of the snowflake balls, and we give away to participants to ask any question or express their views about the work in this project. To ask any question or express Alberto have the turn of speak. Alberto have the turn of speak. Please, if anyone wants the turn of speak, please raise his hand. Wants the turn of speak, please raise his hand. Okay, well, for the conclusion of this meeting, we let Luis Llerena to for the conclusion conclude this session. We let Luis Llerena to for the conclude this session.
I think I am online now, but
yes, you are online, Lewis.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, we had at the end a small, a big technical problem. because we saw the images, and but we did not hear the sound. Probably some cable problem, you know. These things that dealing with the technologies. We will try to fix it next time. But you could imagine to see the snowflakes that usually they are. The choreography is a classical dance, and this was a very shocking to see the snowflakes that I could say something curious about it. At the end, at last, the snowflakes touch the soil, the ground, I mean, because usually in the classical ballet, everything remains floating. And it's very happy to see the snowflakes turning around in the, and for me it was a very interesting composition when I saw it, and I was very well impressed. And also I could stress the dresses that they use, these long tutus that usually they use in classical dance. It was very no contradiction with the contemporary dance choreography that Gloria made, and it was completely integrated. I loved it very much, and also I would like to stress that the images before that we saw about the king of mice and the war between the soldiers and the mice, and it's a very interesting. It seems at the beginning that it looks like it has always been like this. It was absolutely very well integrated into the story of what is happening with Clarita, and that was very surprising to see the circus integrated in a dramaturgical way that is not usually we're not accustomed to see it. Well, thanks you all. I hope that you this had contribute. I mean that this has contributed to a little bit understanding the problems to deal with such a problematic, usually with the dancers dancing with the mask, but it seems that they have done it always like that. It's a very good work, and nothing else to say. Thank you very much. Done it always like that. It's very good work, and nothing else to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Lewis. Now it's the turn to Fabio to speak.
Yes, okay. I want to
Thank you very much, Lewis.
say
Now it's the
that
turn
it's
to
very
Fabio,
impressive, your work, and also we are very happy to participate to this experience. Also, we would like to share directly in the future, in presence, of course, and also I want to thank to Alberto, Lewis, and Gloria, and Leo, and also all the people that has participated to this meeting, and also that has worked. We know very well that it's not easy in this moment to reach a result, and also to maintain an artistic tension and attitude, so on. But also, I want to express another thing very important for me, and also I think is also connected with the sense of this project. There is a very important issue connected with the cultural heritage in connection with the performing arts. It's something very important to maintain a direction, still living, connected with the cultural heritage, with the performing arts. Also, this dimension of the device is centered in the daily life of everyone, and also the experience of the body in the dance, in the ballet, in the theater. It's very important to maintain alive this cultural heritage, so deep and so important. And also, I'm sure that our common work, it's very important, and also you know that this is possible because we are connected by friendship. And also is another quality very important, because there are a lot of professionals in the performing arts, but also we have to maintain very firm the dimension of the friendship, on the brotherhood, on the sisterhood. And this is the sense of the Genius Loci project. For this, I want to thank you, everybody, for your work. And this is the sense of the Genius Loci project. For this, I want to thank you, everybody, for your work.
Danis, may I
So,
say something?
is someone have to speak? Go on, Lewis.
Well,
Is someone?
thank you very much,
have to
Dodanis,
speak?
for giving me.
Go on, Lewis.
Relating of what Fabio said recently, in this moment he said, I would like to stress out that the Nutcracker is itself a part of the humanity heritage, human humanity. It's a choreography that's starting, you know, here in Europe. It's so important that to say that the Nutcracker is reproduced all over the world in different versions. Most of them with a very big high productions, the big companies, but also smaller companies, they also have this because of the power of the story that is behind. Also smaller companies in this Nutcracker, it's also a symbol of the fight and the opening for the finish of the childhood, probably of Clarita, and the opening for the world through a dream or probably a fantasy. Somebody say it's an experience of another world, etc., etc. But I would like to stress this out also, that in the proper dance is also a part of the immaterial heritage of the world. That's all. Of the immaterial heritage of the world.
It's your turn to speak, Roberta.
That's all.
Thank you. I would really, please let me congratulate with you for the beautiful work that you have done and that you continue to do for the arts to live and to transmit the arts to the younger generations. It's really touching for me to see 150 young artists on stage. It's a huge, huge work that you could achieve in this time of pandemic with all the measures you had to respect. So it's really great work. It's an example, and you give strength and energy to all the artists and the people also that are following us. Thank you so much again.
Thank you, Roberta.
And the people also
Is
that are
one
following us. Thank you so much again.
wants to speak? Thank you, Roberta. Is one? Someone else wants to speak? Wants to speak? Thank you, Roberta. Please, Levin. Someone else wants.
Hi everyone, I'm glad that we're having this project all together.
Levin.
And we saw you again after 1 year, because last time we saw each other, it was just the beginning of the pandemic world, and it's become upside down. And I'm gonna thank you especially Fabio, Roberta, Alberto, Luis, which they are working a lot for in this area, the international projects. Yes, not just staying under the one country. It's opening the opportunities around the world. That's what I wanted to express to them. And thank you all the teachers and maestros here, which they are working every day more than 7 hours to make the art lives, make the art continue to work. And thank you very much for everyone again, and I'm glad to see you again. And thank you very much for everyone
Someone
again,
else
and I'm glad to see you again.
want to intervene? Someone else want to intervene? Someone else? Okay, let's finish here. Thank you all for coming. Okay, let's finish here. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
See you
Thank you.
Tomorrow. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you. Goodbye.
bye. See you
See
tomorrow.
you tomorrow.
See you
Thank you.
Tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.